Hello.
So, honey, I have a question.
Okay.
Obviously, I haven't been doing this as long as you because I didn't hunt before I met you. So, spikes.
Okay.
Is it like once a spike, always a spike?
So that's been a debate forever. Here's my opinion, and then here's what I'll tell you that I've seen. My opinion, if it's a young deer, it still has a year or two old, it's a spike. Yeah, it's still got potential. If it's an old deer and still a spike, I think he's going to be a spike. And the reason I say that, from personal experience, first off, if you're watching, please comment, tell us your thoughts, because what I'm saying,
yeah, definitely,
what I'm saying is not science. It's just how I feel and what I've seen. We had a lease here in Georgia, probably been close to 20 years ago. I was hunting a clear cut, and I had a nice 8-pointer out there that I was fixing to shoot, big deer, and I could see a deer coming through the edge of the woods. That the body on this deer was absolutely huge, and it come into the clear cut, but it had its head down. So I'm like, this deer is a monster, because I got my eye on a good deer that I'm going to shoot. A shooter deer, which was in a trophy managed club. And when he got over, I mean, they're standing side by side, and it literally dwarfed the 8-pointer I was going to shoot. But when he picked his head up, he was a spike. He had main beams that come out just like a rat.
Oh, wow.
No points, none, no brow tines, none. At first I thought, wow, that deer broke all of its tines off. I got my binoculars up and zoomed in. No, just clean, slick. And so, but the club I was in, we couldn't shoot the deer. And after I got back talking, several people had seen this deer. So I called the club president, and I was like, I can't tell you what to do, but I feel like we need to kill this deer. It is a monster. I'm talking, I feel like this deer is 6, 7 years old. So we need to cull it out of the herd, because that's not the genetics we're trying to get or whatever.
So it's being a spike genetic?
So that's personal experience.
Yeah.
I don't know, because people do say that a mature 8-pointer will always be an 8-pointer, right? If it's 5 years old, they call kill cull bucks in some managed areas and stuff like that. So right here is what I seen, and I'm pretty sure there's a management area here in Georgia called B.F. Grant. We used to hunt like a mile from it. We had a lease from it. But the University of Georgia done a lot of studies on this particular WMA. They had a lot of people there working on it. And they had done studies, and pretty much that's what, when they first started doing it years ago, this WMA is trophy managed. So when it come time for the hunts, you could kill, I can't remember what the trophy regulations, I think it was 4 on one side and a certain spread or something like that, spike or a doe. And that was 30 plus years ago. And then they quit doing the spike part. They no more killing the spikes, because back then it was believed that once a spike, always a spike, no matter what size the deer is. So there have been some studies that has disproved that, but just curious, what are y'all's thoughts? I mean, right now where she hunts, there's a spike.
That's what I was gonna say.
He's got really long spikes, but looking at his body, I'm thinking he's only a 2.5-year-old deer. Maybe.
And we'll do another video about aging the deer, because I'm not I'm lost on that too.
So she's new. I mean,
Yeah.
she's new to that. It's more looking at the body size because I've got a 10-pointer that's the body is huge, but he's got 10 points, but it's not big. So I don't know if he's a buck on his way down because he's that old, or if he's, he just don't have the genetics for that.
Well, and we have a friend who's pretty knowledgeable on aging, who would want to talk about it. Right?
Yeah. I would. I've got two buddies down here where I'm at, and I'm gonna call them out. The brothers, Dennis and Tracy Cagle. Dennis owns FlatWoods Taxidermy.
Yeah.
In Elbert County, Georgia. If you're looking for quality work,
The best mounts you're ever gonna see.
He's around, and Tracy, his brother, helps him. But these two brothers, I've got to be probably. I've got some buddies that
quite
hunt
knowledgeable
really
when
good,
it comes to hunting.
But these two are really, really good hunters. I mean, just if there's a mature deer in the area, there's a good chance one of them's going to get him, and that's. But I'd like to get them in on that conversation one day too. But then also, guys, while we're talking about this, let's don't get away from the fact of the real meaning of hunting. Let's don't get, because if you go into it just I ain't killing nothing but a Boone and Crockett, and you make a job out of hunting, it's not what it was meant to be. Enjoy yourself.
Well,
have
yeah.
fun. I mean, we all want to kill the biggest deer in the woods. I mean, we just do.
Yeah, but that spike back there would put a lot of meat in the freezer.
Absolutely.
He's a big old body.
That's what we do. We don't kill them just to be killing them. If we harvest the animal, it goes in the freezer if it makes it that far.
Yeah.
It may go on the grill that night.
And in our family, they're not all like, oh, every time you kill a deer, everybody's like, oh, you're gonna make some jerky. Okay, that's the biggest. I'm sorry. It's the biggest waste of meat, to be honest. It's good, but it takes so much of it to make it. Our family's like, are you going to make some chili?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for explaining that to me. We would love to hear your comments,
tell us,
please.
Yeah, and where you're from and where you hunt. And
yeah.
I mean, we by no means have all the answers. We're just giving a few opinions and what we've seen. I will say, going back to the BF Grant deal, hadn't hunted there in years, but when they were killing the spikes also, they were killing bigger bucks than they were for the first several years that they didn't kill the spikes anymore. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just
love to know your
hunting there.
opinions, but also if you know like articles or something, put the links in. We would love to see it.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.